that threatened to knock me off my feet. It brought with it a wrenching pain as well, a sting that dug its hooks into me more each time as the numbness slowly faded from my veins. A numbness that was quickly being replaced by anger. I fixed my gaze on one fae, on Saren, and set my heart on the last thing he'd said to me. "You said my brother is not lost. Well then, tell me, how do I go about getting him back?" Though Saren held my gaze, I saw the way the others exchanged glances and heard their thoughts echoed in the words he used to stretch the already tightened strings of my heart to their breaking point. "Your brother is no longer in any danger, Delphine," he said. His tone and bowed head meant to soothe me, but only succeeding in making my already flared temper burn hotter. "Not imminently, at least." To his credit, at least Tethys had the good graces to cringe at Saren's words. The sea prince stood motionless, his teeth bared as his lips pulled back slightly, as if in preparation for the reaction he rightly assumed was about to pour out of me. "Not imminent? I think being dead is a danger imminent enough to me." I was careful with my words, but no amount of care could calm that fury and rage that had been building inside me. It was building still, pressing in from the outer corners of my vision until it had once again started to darken. Saren's answer only served to stoke whatever flame fueled that smoky darkness. "I know it may be difficult to understand, but where he is now stands outside of time. Our time, at least. Avarath's time. Like my court, our court. Soul's soul remains suspended out of our reach. That buys us time here, to deal with more pressing matters first." Perhaps I'd been too careful with my words, however, because Saren didn't yet seem to sense the danger. Or perhaps he'd simply lived too long to comprehend what it was to stand in my place. Perhaps worse still, he'd seen so much death in his time that it no longer fazed him. The same could not be said for me. Saren was not usually one to set himself a trap of ill-spoken words, but this time he did. It didn't matter that he'd lived 1,000 of my lifetimes, more even, thanks to the same shift in time that he now claimed was enough to protect my brother. No amount of time or space between fairy realms was enough to protect my brother. I'd already failed Soul once. I'd already let a prince of this realm steal the one thing from me that mattered. I wasn't about to let anyone, not even a king, do it a second time. No. My answer was simple, but the feeling burning beneath it was not. That feeling, however, it seemed, was not enough. Saren was unfazed, dangerously so. "Delphine," he said, cocking his head to the side, his eyes narrowing ever so slightly as if he was struggling to understand why I kept defying him. "We all have to be reasonable here. We have to think this through, be careful, strategic." My answer was a bit less simple this time. "No!" The single word echoed out with the same force as one of the glamour's waves. Waves that had already nearly shaken the jagged teeth of the cave down onto our heads from above. They rattled again, dust settling down over our heads to join the hazy clouds still lingering. To his credit, at least, Saren seemed to feel it this time. They all did. I stepped forward, eyes blazing, blood set to boil. I felt every muscle in my body coil, as if I was some kind of viper ready to strike. The darkness closed in tighter. It wasn't just in the corner of my vision anymore. It was creeping out along the ground, sprouting from some unseen places in the earth, or perhaps from simply nothing at all, edging ever closer to the fae standing in a circle before me. I felt a prickle at the back of my neck. No, a sting. The pain of it made my eyes water, but still, the darkness and whatever force that drove it refused to back down. Just as I refused, too. This is my brother we're talking about, not some pawn in a game. We can save the strategy for whatever comes next. Saren looked for a moment like he was about to disagree. Again. I felt my vision darken, felt my hands tighten, felt my body ready to respond before my mind had the chance to comprehend what I was doing. What surprised me next, however, wasn't that one of the princes present came to my aid. It was which one did. It was the one I expected to the least, the one who I'd rarely found myself anything but at odds with. It was Kaldemir. Delphine is right.